Yes. Jackson, here it is. It's Balloon Party. It's 101 ESPN, 101 ESPN YouTube channel. Timothy Michael McKernan. Jackson's dancing today. I can't read the comments.
It's coming. Hold on.
Okay. I want to be able to talk with the people in the YouTube chat.
Don't I know?
I see doggy season ticket holders in there. Winless streak is at 6 games. Are we giving away tickets? Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. I want to talk it over with the Great Bape Auto Detailing.
Nope.
Clayton Davis is in there talking it over. I like that. I'm wearing a Mound City t-shirt.
I like that t-shirt.
And my navy St. Louis baseball Cardinals cap.
Yeah, I like that. You have all the colors of the rainbow, the Cardinal cap you got.
No. Well, I mean, I'm proud to be from St. Louis, and I don't want to live on the coasts.
Of course not. No. I do.
Oh, no.
One day I'd like to live on the coasts, preferably west. I feel like the west. I haven't done a lot of west coasting. I feel like I would like it out there a little better.
More than the East Coast.
Yeah, I've done plenty of east coasting.
I bet
Enjoy
you
it.
have.
Oh, yeah.
Where in the West Coast would you like to go?
NoCal or SoCal would be pretty cool. Pacific Northwest, I feel like I would really thrive.
So essentially anything with the Pacific Ocean in the United States.
Yeah.
Maybe Sans, Alaska. Hawaii. What about Hawaii?
Oh, that'd be great. But I don't think I would want to live in Hawaii. I've done the South Florida thing, and I like it. It's just too bright down there. That's what I describe it.
Really?
It's too
That's
bright.
the thing that I love.
Oh, I don't want. I like that the sun is out, but the palm trees provide no shade, and it's so flat. It's just like and the cement is always white. The white beaches. It blinds the eye.
It's too nice.
It's not.
You like darkness. Watch this. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
No,
I think we could harmonize right there.
It's really nice.
You were the Paul Simon right there to my Art Garfunkel. That was fun.
Really, I've always felt like I was more of the Garfunkel model. What I would say is like the two things when I lived in South Florida that I didn't like, and it was strange, was the brightness, first of all, just blinding. And I get why the sunglass business is huge down there. And then also, when I was living down there, I forgot how much I miss hills. Like South Florida is the flattest part of the country.
Yeah.
Without question. And it is like you miss elevation change in a weird way. I don't know why, but when I came back, I was like, it's nice to go up a hill and down the hill. Yes, hills.
We will be talking the topography of a variety of states today, and we're starting things off with South Florida, but we will make our way around all 50 states and talk topography throughout the course of this week. We're going to do 10 states each day.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why I think I would like California is you get
Great topography.
Yeah, you get mountains, beaches, desert, all of it, all in one state. That's why, like people are like, oh, the Americans aren't that well traveled. We don't have to be. You can live here in St. Louis, Missouri. They call it flyover country. I don't. They call it the heartland.
Good for you.
And you can fly to California and go to a desert. You can fly to Colorado and go to the mountains. You can go to the swamps down there in the American South. And we don't necessarily need to travel a lot of places elsewhere because we got all of that stuff here.
Ain't that America?
Yeah, it's one of the many great things.
Pink houses. 1980. And was he John Cougar Mellencamp or John Mellencamp then? John Cougar? Pink houses. I don't think 85 is live, and I don't think 82 is live. So I can go with, I can go with 83 or 84 because it's one of those two.
83.
Yeah.
And he was I believe, just John Mellencamp at the time.
Really?
No Cougar.
I wonder what the Cougar thing was about. I wonder if he went to like parties in the park or something.
This is a rebrand.
John Score says, hills are nice to look at. You can make contributions in the YouTube chat as well. It's youtube.com/101ESPN. Jackson trying to win the Midwest crowd over. That's from MD 2020. Mad Dog.
I literally just talked about wanting to move, so I don't know if that would... I don't want to move right now. I'm happy here I am now. Good
morning, Piddles. You will now be known as the topper for your dumbass love for the hills. That's from the 314.
That's interesting. I was not necessarily like hills in general, just elevation change, kind of views you get from elevation change. So you don't get that in South Florida. Now you get warm weather year round and beaches and the ocean, but you miss out on elevation change.
Jackson strikes me as a Northeast kid from the mean streets of Connecticut. That's from John Scores.
No, my mom and her entire family from Long Island, New York, now moved to Jersey, as many do. And but no, my father's side's all from Central Illinois, so I have a mixed bag of roots, but born and raised and lived basically my entire life in St. Louis, Missouri.
Look at that. And love it, by the way.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
My wife has Hills. That's from I Hate Paper Straws. And Clayton Davis says it's John Cougar for sure.
It says Pink House is a song by John Mellencamp.
But maybe at the time he was John Cougar.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm reading elsewhere that says
I Hate Paper Straws with a win. Or I don't know who it was.
The screen on this computer is interesting.
Jackson complained about the equipment. Unbelievable. It's
like
so passive aggressive.
Like a crust on it.
Text in, and you can be a friend of the show like this gentleman. Mondays suck. Justin here.
Mondays suck.
Justin here.
Like Garfield.
That's who texted
Garfield will always talk about Mondays. I like Mondays. I don't hate Mondays.
But you hate Fridays, I've noticed.
I don't hate Friday. No, I like Fridays.
Jackson's going to rank topography and then also his favorite days of the week. It'll be a power rankings. That's coming up on today's Little Piddles Weekend Wrap-Up?
Little Piddles Weekend in Review.
Oh, totally different.
This is absolutely different, yeah. So much going on in the world of sport.
What are you going with as the lead? This is kind of a big moment for you. I think I know. Here, I'll text or I'll write it down in my notes app. I got to get away from my selfies in my rearview mirror for my Instagram.
Duck lips?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had a big
ring light, I should say.
Weekend at 8:01. Hold on a second. All right, here we go.
So
what is the lead?
My lead is Cardinals and Cubs.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, you got it written down. Yeah. Yep.
I just can see on my phone.
I think that is the lead. Here locally. I think if we're nationally, probably different, but locally, Cardinals, Cubs, and a fun Cardinal Cubs series, competitive games outside of Saturday. Yeah, I'd say that's the lead. Cardinals are back to 500, Tim. So
if the season ended today, Jackson, they'd be taking on the Atlanta Braves in the playoffs. And the Padres would be taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Padres, of course, below 500. The New York Mets are how many teams are in the National League? I would guess 15.
I would stand to reason.
Nice. Yeah. The New York Mets are the 13th team, and they're a game and a half out of the playoffs.
It's just I guess that's what Major League Baseball wants, is everyone's kind of in it until you're not, and it seems like that when you're not comes later and later every year, and I guess that's their goal, and they're accomplishing it. I know if the Cardinals were 6 games out, I wouldn't be nearly as interested in as they are right now, but hey, listen, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Nice.
But you did raise an interesting point right there, and I'll kind of change my lead question right based on that. Playoffs started today. Who would be your 1-2 combo pitching-wise for the Redbirds?
Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis?
Yeah, that's probably where I would go. Although Kyle Gibson's had also very, very good recently. But I would probably go Gray and Michaelis. But that just kind of goes to show you that I'm not confident in either Michaelis and Gibson totally. But they have looked better recently. And I think that's a major contribution to why the Cardinals have had a decent little run over the last month. That's my take.
It's a nice take.
And you can take it with you if you'd like. You can take that take.
Oh, it's a take to go?
That's right. That's right. We offer takeout service.
Nice.
The Piddles Corp.
I Hate Paper Straws going with Gray and Gibson. A.J. Brown goes with Gray and Michaelis. And Preston S1 says, when do we get to Jackson's breakdown of WWE Clash at the Castle with CM Punk screwing McIntyre?
That happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so they do WWE on Sundays? I thought it was Mondays.
Pay-per-views. What used to be.
How much do those cost?
Well, you get the WWE network.
Okay, and you don't have to. You can bypass the pay-per-view, or is that just like ESPN Plus, where you have to pay the $10 a month to pay the $80 to watch some?
I think it's like Bailey's, where they create an app that doesn't work.
God, that thing is brutal, dude. Oh my God. Chip Carey was on the call though yesterday at the Roku game. Interesting. Good for Chip.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I love Chip. I love hearing. But I would have figured if it's going to be on Roku that they would have.
Well, I don't think Roku has enough of a presence to have their own broadcast team.
Sure.
Otherwise, they might be upside down on the P&L.
Would stand to reason. Yeah. I have out of nowhere. Like I bought a Roku like 2 weeks ago.
Did you really?
Well, because
How many TVs you got in that place?
I got 2. I have 2. But what I want to watch all the Cardinal games, but like there's other sports on or other things I want to do, and I don't necessarily want to like just sit there and stare at the Cardinal game. So I have I call it a auxiliary TV that I put off to the side.
Oh man,
and I connected,
look at you.
And
it's time for cribs.
And I connected the $30 Roku I bought to it, so that's just my Cardinal TV. And I was like, oh, this game's on Roku. I have a Roku. This is nice. What a nice deal. But I'm sure for many fans, I was like, Roku TV.
1205 star.
What are we doing? All day games this weekend and on the north side.
It's all in the Peacock app. If you subscribe to that for, I think, $7.99 a month, you get all the WWE pay-per-views for free, Jackson.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I've been so close to buying Peacock. I feel like that's one streaming service too far. I have pretty much all of them. I feel like getting Peacock one step too far, and I don't know if there's enough programming on there to keep me locked in. Clash
of the Castle cost $44.
Okay. I no offense to anybody, but I could see myself allocating $44 in a more wise fashion than a pay-per-view of a WWE wrestling event. But if that's how people want to spend their money, who am I to judge?
Just got back from 3 months in Southwest Florida, and I can honestly say I never once said, gee, I really miss the hills, and enough with this clear blue sky all the time. Different strokes are for different folks, I guess. That's from Sharon.
That is true, Sharon. What I'll say on that is I'm not necessarily saying that I dislike South Florida. I liked it a lot.
You just enjoy hills, and you hate sunshine.
I'll say there was one day, because when I would be my freshman year, I was wearing a little suit because I was a pledge boy. And starting in late August, I would wear a suit every day to class. And as soon as that sun hit the atmosphere, 8 a.m., it was hot.
Hotter than the fires of hell?
And humid and muggy. And I had a back sweat like you wouldn't believe it. But then one day in like early November, it just flipped. And it was simply the nicest weather I've ever experienced for like the next 4 months.
Oh, glorious.
It was 75 degrees.
Did you miss the hills then?
No.
Yeah,
and during the winter, my complaints were few and far between. Once it got hot and bright, I wasn't as into it. And when it would rain in the summer there, it would rain for half an hour, usually around 3 o'clock. And then for the next 2 hours, it was as hot as I can imagine this earth gets.
The very pale guy doesn't like the sun. What a surprise. That's from Marsh's burner.
That's part of it. It was mostly my vision. It's just so damn bright. So bright. There's no shade anywhere. It's just palm trees, which are beautiful.
They're lovely, aren't they?
At sunset.
Do you enjoy a boat drink?
Yeah, I did daiquiris and such.
Oh,
pina coladas, rum runners. Yeah, if it's blended up, count me in.
Somebody just called you a Billy Huso doppelganger?
Yeah, I do look like a little bit like Billy. I mean, most like pale Eastern European hockey players and I have a lot of similarities. You may see my Twitter profile picture as Jake Gunsel. And someone asked me to go, I thought that was just you, like doing like a gag, like dressing up as a hockey player. So no, that's a real hockey player who plays for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Breaking it down.
That's right.
Jackson, we will take a commercial break, come back with more of the Little Piddles Weekend in Review.
Yeah.
This is different. You're switching it up.
More Cardinal stuff, some stuff about the U.S. Open, which was outstanding, stuff on the Doggies. Yeah, got a lot of Cardinals coming up this week. Good stuff.
Cardinals and Marlins.
Cardinals and Giants. Cardinals and Giants, Thursday's game is special.
All right, there we go. That's all coming up. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. It's a place my family goes to get our cars, the place we recommend you go to get yours as well. And they have a great deal right now for our audience on TMA that we bring over to Balloon Party, and that is $589 a month, no money down, and you get a new 2024 Acura MDX Premium. 48-month lease. Just go shopping right now at stlouisacura.com. That's stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com and work with the great people we have gotten to know and think the world of at Munganess. St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. That's Jamie Burkhardt. That's Peter Munganess. And that's Ryan Seiberg in the service department. It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. The program is brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. That's Jackson Bennett Burkett. Bud Jackson is Air Comfort Service text line.
They're not a fan of mine.
The Ledoux kid is whining about his high-end lifestyle. What else is new? That's from the Water Boy. I don't know what you said in the first segment that conveyed whining about a high-end lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mentioned before my roots.
You said you weren't a fan of South Florida because you missed hills and topography.
I did. And I mentioned before that I have my family from Central Illinois. That's not true. And I think this is Southern Illinois. My family's from Southern Illinois. So I think that might endear myself a little bit more. But either way, I don't mean to complain about any high-end lifestyles. I like the term Ledoux boy. That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Get involved, 314-399-9646. That's the text inbox number. And then the YouTube chat. It looks like there's an argument going on with Ryan Crawford and I can't tell who else. Maybe Willie? I don't know. I'm not sure. All I know is I just saw out of the corner of my eye what looks like...
Someone calling someone a snowflake. It's always a good start.
So head on into the YouTube chat and see what's doing this morning. It's the 101 ESPN YouTube channel. Jackson, what is your next question? Jackson's not
That's Christian Pulisic over Messi. What are we doing here?
What's our next question?
All right.
On the Little Piddles weekend in review, because it's not a weekend wrap-up anymore?
Weekend in review.
Nice.
Oh, I don't know if I want to ask this question.
What's it about? Go ahead and ask it.
All right, nice little weekend. Yeah, all right. A nice little weekend series win on the north side for the Cardinals in what seemed like a very classic Cards-Cubs duel.
I could have sworn you asked this exact question in the first segment.
No, I was talking...
Are you having like a on Golden Pond moment here?
I was talking about Michaelis and Gibson in the first segment, which was going to be my second question.
I swear you said it shaped up as a classic little series on the north side between the Cardinals and Cubs. I'm like...
No, this little rights holder respite was planned to be the opening, but this is now it's coming second.
Okay.
I call it the rights holder respite.
All right. Rights holder respite.
Yeah. All-day games, wind swirling game by game, and hot weather made it pretty good television for those who could figure out Roku TV games. First, how cool to see Pedro Pejas, or Pete Pages, be the hero of the weekend with his family, including his father, there to see. Second, now that the team is back to 500, how has your confidence fluctuated since the brutal start they had into early May? Is 500 seeming like a constant this year, or has something shown you more reason for optimism or pessimism? Rights holder respite.
Yeah, the rights holder respite. I want to give an anecdote, an off-air anecdote behind the scenes.
Okay.
Because Jackson and I are being offered large sums of money to put our lives up on social media.
It's true. Every moment.
And I was lucky enough to spend time with Jackson at his member guest this weekend. And we get done with our round, and I'm just happy to be there. It's uncomfortable for me being in that kind of society.
Right. I mean, you had your shirt tucked in. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah. Because I'm used to, if I'm going to play, I'm usually shirts off in those conditions.
Right, yeah, tarps off.
And we're sitting at the bar, and the U.S. Open is on, and the Cardinals game's on, and I'm trying to get them to switch it to the UFL Championship. And Jackson is passionately engaged in cheering for the Cardinals. And when that's going on, my default position is, oh, you must have money on it. But
not
alas,
no, not the case.
You just love these Redbirds. And I guess that's why this is called the rights holder respite.
Well, yeah, that question certainly was. I would say these Cardinals, just the Cardinals in general, big fan. And what I've noticed about myself, Tim...
What have you noticed? Because you were really into it. I was like, I guess you bet the Cardinals today.
Nope. So there are two sports teams that really get my emotional investment. That's Missouri football and it's Missouri basketball. Those
Tiger.
get, like, before the games, like butterflies might appear in my stomach.
Really?
Before Missouri football, like before the Georgia game, yeah, I was...
Well, that's two top 5 teams. I mean...
Yeah, butterflies.
What about like a Murray State comes a-calling on Thursday in August?
Got to avoid disaster. Okay. We saw what happened against Middle Tennessee State.
I understand, but I mean, if you're getting butterflies Okay. All
But I
right.
like
Hey, God
that.
bless. You know what? To each their own. We
I
don't
like
kink
that.
shame and we don't fandom shame.
We do not. But I
Felt like you fandom shamed WWE fans in the first segment. A little bit.
If I did, I didn't mean to. If I did, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
But I might have. But I want more of that. I want that super emotional investment. And I think I can get there with the Cardinals. It's just tough because of the 162-game schedule and the team's not all that great. But I want to have that.
Wow. That's a big moment here on the Rights Hold the Respite, saying the team's not all that great. Big moment.
It's like they are right now, they are a boat with a bunch of holes in it. And every time they fill up what seems like all the holes, another one pops out and water keeps leaking out. So when they get the pitching right, now the offense comes a little bit back, bullpen starts to mess up. They just can't get it all right at the same time. And I really want them to. But I want more of that emotional investment because I used to have that with the St. Louis Rams. Way too much emotional investment, now looking back at it.
Right.
But I have the appetite for 3 teams to hold my emotions in the vice grip. And I hope the Cardinals can be that team, because I don't see any other team out there.
So you're wanting to feel emotion for something that you know isn't that great.
At the moment, correct. Yes. And this weekend was full, as I mentioned on TMA, with a lot of sentiment and whimsy, and I'm really into that. Like the Pedro Pejas stuff with his father is legit. Like that's what makes baseball cool.
Sentiment and whimsy.
Yeah.
I like that. Sentiment and whimsy.
His family, who kind of lives in the Miami area, they're playing Miami, of course, today.
What a ballpark.
Absolutely. But his parents and his father had never seen a game at Wrigley, and so he got to go see his son, and then his son is the hero of 2 baseball games. I mean, it's really good stuff. And I like Pejas, I think he's a solid catcher. Hitting wise could probably be improved, but he was great this weekend. So, there was a lot of sentiment and whimsy, and I was into it. And Palante is a member of my fantasy team.
That's what it was about.
That's part. Well,
now I feel like I just found out, and I know this isn't true, that the professional wrestling isn't real. I was like, man, I was telling some compadres, said it on TMA. I said Jackson was so invested in this Cardinal game. And it was just...
No.
But as it turns out, it was because Palante got the start.
Well, that's a footnote on the bottom of the story because my fantasy team is beyond repair.
Now I'm back to being a cynic.
I lost the clubhouse about a month ago, so we're just kind of playing out the string. We're kind of Oakland Athletics looking to move. I was going to say Pittsburgh Pirates, but maybe they could make a little run.
Plus 2,000 win the Central. I think there's value in that.
The Central, I don't know.
Just telling you.
The Brewers are obviously the best team in the Central right now.
6.5 game lead.
But I'm not. I was more convinced on them earlier in the year. Not so much so.
I know you have been high on the Brewers.
Yeah, but I'm not like high on the Cardinals, and the Cubs are skidding. I don't think the Reds got it, but maybe the Pirates do. They got the pitching.
Oh, look at this.
They got the pitching.
It's an early 90s reset. Look, it's Barry Bonds and Andy Van Slyke out in the outfield. Oh, here comes Bobby Bonilla. Oh, my. There's Spanky LaValliere and Dub Drabeck. How fun is this going to be?
Yeah, the Cardinals are going to have to do something come August, the deadline. I just don't know who they can sell and who they can buy. Do they want to give up someone like Ryan Helsley? I mean, he's the guy's leading the league in saves, but if you can get a powerful bat for him in the outfield, is that worth more than having a rock-solid closer at the moment? I would say that power in the outfield translates longer. There's more longevity there than closer position. And maybe you have a guy already you like as a closer who could fill in for Helsley. I don't know who that person is because I don't know if it's JoJo Romero. That's the easy answer. But a lefty, doesn't throw gas. Maybe it's not him.
Your thoughts are welcome. 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line and the YouTube chat. Okay. Thick Kitty just wrote, "Together they repulse me."
Together.
They could be talking about us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, so individually they like us, but...
Like, individually we're, like, hot.
Right, but together.
Together they repulse me. That's from Thick Kitty. Spelled Thicc. Then Kitty.
Oh, yeah, that's how the kids spell it.
Yeah, well, this show trends younger. All right, Jackson, we'll find out what's left here on this Little Piddles Weekend in Review.
Yeah, probably some U.S. Open talk coming up.
The second half of the program is coming up. This is Balloon Party 101 ESPN.
It's Action Jackson, Sports Center update, and that's driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Cardinals win yesterday, taking 2 of 3 for their weekend on the north side against the Cubs. They'll take on the Marlins tonight in Miami. That game starts at 5:40 p.m. Sonny Gray on the mound for your Redbirds. And Game 5 of the NBA Finals, Celtics and Mavericks heading back to Boston. Can the Celtics close it out? And can Jason Tatum win his first NBA championship? Find out tonight. Coverage on 101 ESPN. Pregame begins at 6:30. Tip-off at 7:30 tonight. 101 ESPN. That was another Sports Center update. That's driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy. Together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota, Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you until 11 o'clock. Jackson, what is your next question on the Little Piddles Weekend in Review?
Weekend in Review, we're going to move on to North Carolina. How about that finish we had at Pinehurst this weekend with the battle between Bryson and Rory? Is that about as much as you can ask for a major championship Sunday back nine? Did you enjoy the challenge of Pinehurst on the players and what that meant for the drama of the fourth round?
Jackson, what an afternoon it was.
Yeah, man.
For many, Father's Day is associated with watching the U.S. Open.
Yep.
Ideally, with your father or with your children, as did I as well. And then I know for plenty, it's, other traditions. But that's what I tied into. So I was able to watch the U.S. Open over at my sister's house with my dad and our family, and it was absolutely wonderful. I think that is the best major championship since Tiger won at Augusta in 2019 and since Bellerive in 2018.
Yeah, the 22 at Southern Hills had a good finish, but the names weren't as big.
That's Mito Pereira blowing it into the creek. Yeah, respectfully, this was otherworldly. And you didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, right?
I watched once Bryson and Rory kind of teed off. That's when I started.
So you did. I guess maybe it was Doug on TMA City watched the end. That was incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Take your pick of whatever the headline is for you from it. I guess for most people it'll be Rory missing the putts.
Yep, would agree.
And hey, understandably so. Not trying to downplay that. That is brutal. But also Bryson DeChambeau, not his driver, because I think he was worst in the field, hitting 5 of 14 fairways yesterday. 5 of 14 fairways. Usually a USGA setup will be incredibly penalizing should a player miss that many fairways. But he was fortunate in that most of the time he had good lies. Number 18 certainly being an exception relative to having that the root of that tree that he had to navigate as he punched it out to go into the bunker and then hit what became the signature shot of the tournament, that 50-yard fairway bunker shot or greenside bunker, depending on you. Either way, it's a 50-yard bunker shot, which is brutal to do. And then you said he trundled that up to about 3-4 feet and hit a straight uphill putt to win it. But Rory McIlroy missing the putts on 16 and 18, brutal. Rory experiencing criticism for leaving without talking to the media, and understandably so. Understandable on both sides of that, actually. And I truly feel that way. If I thought passionately, I would tell you. I certainly understand those being critical, saying, how can you walk away? And then I can certainly understand not wanting to do it. But, Greg Norman had plenty of blow-ups. Jean Van de Velde had perhaps one of the most famous ones. Take your pick of...
Phil blew up at Winged Foot.
And Winged Foot, 2005, I think it was, 2006. Either way, he faced the music. So the Netflix cameras from Full Swing were following him into his car, and then the car headed on out. He is supposed to play this week. It's another signature event, which means he would address the media either tomorrow or Wednesday in New Hampshire. God, that was brutal. He missed a combined approximately 7 feet of putts on 16 and 18, and you make both of those, so you're the U.S. Open champion. You make one of those, and you're in a playoff.
Yeah.
They would have played 17 and 18, but instead, he comes up short in one of the most devastating fashions possible. And so while I certainly will talk about that all day long, I also want to point out what Bryson DeChambeau did in getting up and down from just ridiculous spots. I was watching that, saying to my family, I'm like, oh my God, he's 3% chance he gets up and down from there, and then he'd pull it off. I think one par 5 birdie to land it where he did. I can't recall what the hole was, doesn't matter, but there's the precision of that. So to be able to execute that in those circumstances, just monster tip of the cap. Also, when Xander Schauffele beat DeChambeau to win the PGA a few weeks ago at Valhalla, DeChambeau went out of his way to walk up to him, and he was waiting for him on the range, getting ready for a playoff, and Schauffele made the putt, and DeChambeau walked up to him and shook his hand. So granted, DeChambeau had made a putt on 18 to force Schauffele to make his putt. Coming up behind him, Rory had missed a 3-foot, 11-inch putt and just headed on out right away. I would imagine Rory McIlroy has not slept.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll play this week?
Good question.
You got to put something that matters for you, $100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's $100, but $100,000.
Yeah, maybe 150 would get me more into it. But I will say that he will play, and then he will be very upfront, very forward about, hey, I missed a putt, brutal, but that's part of the deal with golfing. And in retrospect, I wish I would have stuck around and said congrats to Bryson before I left. But
wow, look at you!
I think
look at you.
I think
you know what you are. You are a special spirit.
I am. I'm not going to lie. Rory is one of my favorite golfers. Might be my favorite golfer. I had a little taste.
He's not from America.
I don't want to get into the whole Northern Ireland thing.
You're with the wrong host on that one.
Listen,
brother.
I know when I'm out over my skis, and anytime I'm talking about that, talking to my friends in Belfast or Dublin.
That was interesting. My friends in Belfast, I noticed that.
I have friends in Dublin, friends in Belfast. I have friends in neither, but I'll say I do. But I had a little bit of a taste on Rory as well. So very
more fun. You know what? Here I am, and I'm just in here for the love of sport.
That's right. Load. Oh, Lord.
And I found out that which I thought was as pure as the driven snow, you're cheering for the Cardinals amongst all your members and member guests this weekend, was really about your dreadful fantasy baseball team, which doesn't match up with my dreadful fantasy baseball team.
Oh, we playing each other this week?
Yeah.
There's a W for you.
Absolutely. It's like Vanderbilt and Mississippi State getting together for a game in October.
Sticks up.
And then we got listen to the positive spin on Rory McIlroy and how he's going to handle this, and it turns out you're invested in him.
It's a small taste. He was like plus 330 before he teed off on Sunday. I said, you know what?
What is pure anymore?
Nothing. I actually have a question about that later on.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get to that later. Well, I'll say
we only have 17 minutes left, so I don't know what you're. Well, then are we just going to do like a conversation in the hallway, like you and Rocchio on Celtics and Mavericks?
That's right. Yeah. Well, all those are recorded, and then we'll bring it to the people later. No, I love Rory. I hope that's what he does. I think that if I was his PR team, that's what I would suggest. Is like, hey, play this week. Be forward with the media about. You were not a fan of your own behavior following the round, and that missing putts, short or long, is part of the game, and he wish he would have handled it better. He's been through a lot over the last 10 years to win another major and just can't get over the hump. Talk about that. Congratulate Bryson. Be very forward about how well Bryson played and all that. And that's how I would handle it. That's how you nip it in the bud.
It's a tough spot. Like, if he can do that, you know what I would do? I would doff my cap. I wouldn't even tip it. I would doff it if he can do that.
Right.
But, I mean, that is an exposed nerve. There is not a chance in hell he slept last night. Not a chance. Not a chance. And so then he's got to, I imagine he went from Pinehurst back to Jupiter.
Would imagine, yeah.
And he's going to fly back up to New Hampshire. So he's got a day at home with the family, fresh off of pulling out of the divorce.
Yeah, right.
So you got that situation, and I'm not like, tee-hee-hee divorce thing. It's something that he has to deal with when he's away from the course.
No doubt.
And then go up there, and then if he can do that,
all power to him.
And the thing is, even people who don't like him, I think, if/when he wins another major, it will be lofted up there with what I would imagine were, if you want to draw a parallel to it, Tiger winning in 2019 and plenty of people a decade earlier after Elin came after him with the golf club and all that transpired with him away from the course were pulling for Tiger because he had fought his way back. The American sports story, or American story really, of watch somebody rise, then watch them fall, and then want to see them rise again.
Yep, that's the character arc that we like as a country. We like building someone up.
Is that global or is that a United States of America thing? Ain't that America for you and me? Second Pink House's reference of Balloon Party.
I wish I could say it's a global thing and say it with confidence, but I just don't know. I can tell you, certainly American sports-wise, that's kind of the arc that we like, is build them up, tear them down, and then watch them become the underdog and prevail again. That's certainly how it's gone for many of our athletes in this country. But I think Rory could be that. I think he absolutely could be that. And he especially has been torn down these past couple of years, both by his own doings and external forces.
I'll make this binary.
Oh, I love making things binary.
Does Rory McIlroy win another major championship?
Yes.
Well, you didn't even hesitate.
His game's too good. It's just too good not to. And I've been in a situation where I've missed short putts. Boy, have I missed some short putts in my life. Oh, I could tell you. And there is no worse feeling in golf than missing a downhill left to right slider. It is so, because it's like.
See, I think the one on 16 was worse because that was kind of a straightforward putt.
It was, just from a putt. But like the feeling you have in your stomach when you miss a downhill left to right slider is like, I knew it was going to go, I mean, especially when you miss it low, on the low side. It's like, I know it's breaking that hard, but I just can't figure out the speed in which to putt it to get it to go in. I cannot make a downhill left to right slider.
But you're telling yourself that. That's a negative swing thought, and you're as pure as the driven snow.
I know. I need Bob Rotella or someone in here to coach me. I need one of that for broadcasting.
You need a Bob Rotella for broadcasting?
I leave here like Jimmy Butler after the COVID finals.
I don't even know what any of that meant, but it sounds like that means you're despondent.
The sports fan out there who's listening knows the meme I'm talking about.
What about Living in America, James Brown, Rocky IV? That's from the 618.
Yeah, you're on that, Tim?
85. Okay. I love the song. I love the reference. I have no idea why the text was sent in, but I love it nonetheless. I enjoy a good non sequitur, and that's a wonderful performance. Spoiler alert. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunate what transpires with Apollo Creed following his entrance with James Brown and Living in America. But Rocky got his vengeance.
Yeah, Rocky did, but he should have thrown in the towel. There's just no doubt about it. Right. He should have thrown in the towel. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that. Make the tough decisions, Rock. And he pays for it, Watch the Creed films.
Yes, he does.
Plenty of conscience. Plenty on his conscience.
It's tough. 40 years later, that's tough. Do we have a confirmation on Living in America as if I need to ask her this?
It is 1985.
Yeah. Is it boring? Am I like Scheffler?
Yeah, you're the radio equivalent of Valhalla.
How dare you compare yourself to a major champion? You have no clue what it's like to lose a PGA event. That's from... I believe this is one of these rare cases where somebody's business is used as their text name, and nice. I won't read it.
Yeah. Okay.
Although Great Bape Auto Detailing might be a business, and I'm just a full-on supporter.
I think it is.
I'm their guy. I'm their spokesperson. Self-appointed.
Did I ever frame myself as like the expert in the booth here? I just said I've missed a lot of short putts. How much more crap do I have to talk of myself before people find me somewhat interesting?
That should be in a promo. Now you're getting called middle-aged.
Ooh, okay. 26. That's kind of concerning. I hope I don't expire at 50.
This guy's unhappy with you of course, you bougie pigs are prattling on about golf. Welcome back to Bougie Pigs.
Bougie Pig. That's good. That's good.
I told Jackson, I said the topics are... The doggies losing or the winless streak at 6, the UFL championship, and what does it mean for the future? Like the NFL got a chance to see that. They had Tom Brady here. What does that mean?
Yeah.
The Cardinals, by winning 2 or 3 against the Cubs, are they now the best team in the National League?
Right.
And he's like, I'm a bougie pig, and I want to prattle on about golf and compare my putts.
It's true.
And I'm like, okay. but I'll only do it if I can weave in a fake text about living in America from James Brown.
That's right.
That was the agreement.
Well, was there any stock car racing going on this weekend that we could?
I don't know. All I know, Jackson, is you're a bougie pig.
Yeah.
And you've been prattling for too long.
It's the U.S. Open at a public golf course, by the way.
Stop prattling. All right, we'll take a break. One more segment left to Bloom Party. This is 101 ESPN. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency is my insurance agent, and I would love for James Carlton to become your insurance agent as well. Online at carltoninsurance.net. I made the switch 5 years ago, and I couldn't be happier since making that switch. 367 five-star reviews for James Carlton and his staff on Google, and there's a reason for that, and that's the service that they provide. We made the switch when we were dealing with an unfortunate situation at our home, and ever since, I wish I would have made the switch sooner because the service that James and his staff provide are so good. It's proactive, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And I know you're sitting there thinking, I don't really want to make the switch. All insurance agents are the same. And I understand that. You know why I understand it? Because I used to think the same thing. And then I made the switch. They do all the paperwork for you. And then I go, this is the best. Why wouldn't I be with James Carlton? 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Welcome back, Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Jackson, what are we going to do here? You deep teased something, and I was like, oh, well, you better get to it because we got 4 minutes left now. Let's make this happen. Let's optimize these 4 minutes, 240 seconds. What you going to do? What you going to do?
I don't have near enough time for this breakdown, so that'll come tomorrow.
This always happens.
It'll come tomorrow. But I'm sure I have a quick hitter in my back pocket somewhere.
Oh, no, this is how we're going to do it, isn't it? You got a Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese? You want to give the people some...
People forget that they're,
it sounds like
playing a sport.
This is called a reluctant, inadvertent take. I want to let people know what this is.
I'll be quite brief.
Well, you better be, because we have 210 seconds left.
And counting. I cannot stand... People forget that this is competition. And sometimes competitors, especially the highest level of competitors, see someone being heralded as like this greatest player ever. And they're like, oh, she's really good. But we're also competitors, and we're going to take her down. And sometimes that leads to a physical game. Basketball is a physical game. It's a contact sport, matter of fact. People hear that, they go, no, hockey and football are contact sports.
It's always so condescending.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be condescending. Yeah, that's right.
Where's Jamie Rivers?
Because I don't have to read the text line after I do this. I can just leave. So I'm gonna let it loose.
I'll read it for you.
Thank you.
Boxers or briefs, Jackson? That's from Thanks, Dad.
Boxer briefs, both.
Nice.
A little leg to my underwear. I like a little bit of a leg, but still solid. Regardless. When you see something like that, these are high-level competitors. They're gonna want to beat her, and the game gets physical. Like, I'm sorry to say, so sometimes hard fouls. I can tell you, someone.
You ever hear that "Let's Get Physical" by Olivia Newton-John?
Yeah,
I think that was the #1 song, like in '81.
Probably was red hot, wasn't that? That was
I'm gonna say '81. I'm gonna feel good about '81 because it's gonna get me '80 and '82. It's a lock. Bet your entire bankroll on this. I'm telling you, you're gonna double up. It's up to you if you want it. And it had nothing to do with Grease. Pinky Tescadero? Pinky Tescadero?
1981. Doesn't that have something to do with Travolta, Saturday Night Fever? Am I thinking otherwise?
You're thinking about a totally different thing. Okay. Travolta was in Saturday Night Fever and in Grease.
Yeah, it was 81.
Of course it was. You just doubled your bankroll if you got that in with your guy.
Just know that basketball gets physical and people want to win. So stop making it a whole story every time Caitlin Clark gets fouled. People get fouled. Were the Bad Boys Pistons being petty when they played against Michael Jordan hard and won a championship? No. It's nonsense.
I bet Marsh goes commando. That's from The Waterboy.
I doubt it. I hate to mince words here, but that's a ballsy move.
Oh, now we're doing puns and double entendres. What are you doing? What are you just doing? If you're watching on YouTube, what a treat you just got. I don't know what that was.
It's kind of like
origami?
It's kind of like when a blackjack dealer finishes their shift and they make sure everyone knows that their sleeves are empty and they kind of close it out. That's kind of me every time I finish the show. I got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, you went to Ladue, Yes Man Jackson. That's from the 314.
Yes Man Jackson, that's nice. I prefer Bourgeois Pig.
I thought it was Bougie Pig.
I read the text as bourgeois.
Is that right, really?
Maybe. Maybe it was talking about Peter Borges.
Fat Bob says Jackson's heated.
Heated. No, not heated. I find sports discourse is being dismantled by those who like opportunity over conversation.
Did Jackson just break the fourth dimension? That's from Bazooka Tooth 75 in the YouTube chat.
I live in all dimensions, and we're in a simulation. So
you believe we're in a simulation?
The evidence seems clearer and clearer by the day.
We will elaborate on that tomorrow at 10 o'clock. That will be Tuesday's edition of Little Piddle's simulation.
Yeah, it's like we'll be doing broadcast on Tron. It's going to be like Tron.
What a film. Yeah. Tron Carter. Time for us to shut it down. BK and Ferrario are next for Jackson, Bennett, Burkett. I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party on 101 ESPN.